fishing trip out of distance. It was Ron, Henry Bain, and myself. We went out fishing. When we got through fishing all day, we came back through Pensacola. On the way back through Pensacola, somebody said, let's go to Rosie O'Grady's. I said, okay, that sounds good. We'll do that. So we go to Rosie O'Grady's.
Explain what Rosie's is.
Rosie O'Grady's is a bar in Pensacola.
Lots of bars. Restaurant, three?
It's a restaurant, three, but it's also bars on half, and the other half is restaurants. But there's bars all over it with old music, piano music, the whole thing.
I think there's about 3 different restaurants involved in that.
Well, it may be, but we didn't go that way. So we decided to go in there. When we went in there, we kept hearing some racket. You know, there was a few people in the bar. There wasn't a lot of people. So we walked on through to the back courtyard, and in the back courtyard, there's a block wall with a gate, and there was another courtyard on the other side, for the other side. Well, there was all kind of people in there. So the gate was open. So you gotta realize that we've got tennis shoes on, we've got shorts and t-shirts on, and we've been fishing. So we walked through there, and it was obvious when we walked in there, because they had 3 bars set up. There's 3 bars set up, so we walked on in there and looked around, and we knew something was going on formal, because all the women had on formal gowns, the guys had on shirts, ties, and some of them tuxedos. So we said something formal is going on here, probably a wedding. So we walked over and got a beer, you know, and we drinking, and we said, we need a game plan because we know we're not supposed to be here. We looked down the hallway, and there was 2 tables longer than this house, one on each side, with all kind of food on it.
Ooh, I'm talking about
the plates filling up. There's a big dance floor, and there's a band, and people were dancing.
So in evening wear.
In evening wear, yeah, that was formal.
Well, you know, they were dressed up.
Yeah, they were
tuxedos.
So one of the first mistakes we made is I sent Ron to find out who's getting married. The story was going to be the groom knew we were going fishing. He said, when y'all get through fishing, come on by and have a drink at my wedding. So we said, we need to know who's getting married. So Ron goes over and talks to a waitress, and he comes back, and Henry and I standing there, and he says, the guy's name is vonSnowden. vonSnowden, okay, we know who's getting married. So we sit there and drink 2 or 3 drinks, and we get pretty bold. Then we go into the line to get food. So we're going right to the line.
And I'm telling you, Oyster Rockefellers, some of the fathead foods you ever saw.
Any kind of food you wanted, they had.
I mean, it was there.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
So we're just walking along, eating.
And, you know, filling the plate up and eating along too, you know. And we said, you know, it's probably a matter of time before we're going to get in trouble. Go ahead and eat. And so we've had a few more drinks by that time, so we were feeling pretty bold. And all of a sudden, I see this lady in this dress go over to a guy in a brown suit and just really talking and pointing on.
And he is about 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big old guy. Big guy. And we said, uh-oh. Well, Henry saw it. Henry's right back to the back door. Well, Ron didn't go to the back door quite so much, but he backed up a little bit. And sure enough, that guy in that brown suit came right to me. And he says, who invited you? He said, this is a formal wedding party. Who invited you? I said, the groom. He said, yeah. I said, yeah, we were going fishing, and he said, come on by after you get us something to eat and drink. He said, and who would that be? And I said, vonSnowden. The guy, you could tell, was frustrated and teed off. And immediately, he pointed to the front door. Get the hell out of here. And I'm looking up at him. No, he ain't. Oh, he asked me first. He says, do you normally come to a formal wedding reception with tennis shoes and shorts and a t-shirt? And I says, I'll dress any damn way I want to. That's when he really got rolled off. And he pointed to that front door. He said, get the hell out of here. And I says, I came in the back. I'll go out the back. He was standing back. You know, he was over at the back door. Yeah, he was already gone. I know he was standing there.
Hey, when that 7-footer come barreling down through there, I knew there was a problem.
Oh, my God. And he, you know, he just said, we walked out, got a drink on the way out to the courtyard, and went over to the next side, and by that time we had to go to the bathroom, and we started in the bathroom, you know, and this big dude standing there next to me, and we were laughing about getting kicked out of Roselle Grady's party. And he said, what? He said, who kicked you out? He said, I'm the bouncer.
Yeah.
We looked up that guy
kicking out.
And I said, I don't know, some dude. He said, do you have a brown suit on? I said, yeah. He said, oh my God. He said, that's the supervisor. I said, well, who's getting married? He says, vonSnowden, the owner of Roselle Grady. So we sent him to get a name, and he gave us vonSnowden. Well, it was vonSnowden, guys. Oh, we had.
I believe that was pretty close.
vonSnowden. Bond. We got kicked out of Roselle Grady.
Not before you had a little like
we were full. I'm telling you, hey, and all the drinks from
We stayed at that table, you know, about 10 minutes. We worked out on that table.
But that's the story about Roselle Grady.
That's a good story.
So that's another situation where my brother got me in trouble.
What's wrong with you?
We all know I can't hear thunder.
And that was really before you really couldn't hear.
Well, I couldn't even hear them.
That's obvious.
Well, it's obvious you ought to set somebody else.
Yeah, you're right. We should have.
I thought that we were that story then.
Well, I'm not sure it would have worked even when we said Bob.
It wouldn't have been as funny, Ron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
Well, no, I heard him say Bob Snow.
Well,
I thought it'd be kind of
all your
cute.
stories start innocent, though.
Yeah.
You just went in there for a drink.
we went in for a drink.
No, we were going to get something to eat.
Oh, it was innocent.
So we go in the place and we going to get something to eat. But we heard that music. We walked back there and saw that courtyard there, and there's this black guy dressed up real nice. And he says, come on in. Come on in. So we walked in. And then he says, what do you have? What do you have? So we told him what we have was getting it. And then
We got it.
he showed
One of
the
them
buffet,
spending
he showed
the
the
night
buffet
in
tables. He says, enjoy. You know, it was kind of not Hawaiian, but it was the native theme, you know, everybody's kind of dressed that way. So he was supposed to be like when you go to the islands. Oh, come in, you know.
The plane.
And so he just brought us in and we just indulged.
We didn't indulge, all right. It was fun, but that's the Roselle.
But I
right,
guarantee
that's
you,
a
we're
good
one
one.
of the very few that have been kicked out of Roselle Grady.
And live to talk about it without spending the night in jail.
That's it.
Well, now that place has been around for a long time. I'm sure people have been thrown out of there.
I imagine other people, but
Yeah,
not
especially in a
from
sailor
Not
town.
not from Bob Snowden's wedding.
That's a sailor town. They get rowdy down there.
I mean, they were pretty big affair.
You'd have to pay for it.
Bond's wedding.
But
Yeah.